Maria, welcome to the show. How can I help you today?
I have a question that I really want. I don't know if I am being rude or not, so I just want to ask you if you don't mind.
Sure.
So, recently I got a new job, and in the past, I've worked everywhere retail, hospitals, private residence, and a lot of the times the workplace culture is great. But then there'll be moments where you think you can get comfortable and it comes back and it bites you in the behind. So the last place I was, it wasn't necessarily me, but I wasn't unintentionally involved with some private outside of work problems that ended up with two people having to like resign because it got toxic. They could not work together. And part of the reason why I was involved was because I just so happened to give advice, if that makes sense. I was just telling one person, maybe you should go talk to HR about this. And after that, they were like, couldn't mind your business. So now that I'm in this new job, I'm kind of trying to just keep to myself. And unfortunately, these people are friends. And it's a great work environment. Like, out of all of them, this is the best one. I can see they've been friends. And I'm still like apprehensive about joining them because I am the new person. I don't know the rules. I don't want to risk it. I've had this happen in the past. And so whenever they ask me to go with them to like to bars or sometimes I'll have like social get-togethers even in the office, I'm like, no thank you. How can I tell them like no offense, but I don't want to just don't want to be a part of this
So
right now.
you've got some past where you've seen if you're friendly with people, it seems to cross some lines and then you can get kind of pulled into conflicts. And so you're trying to avoid that now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you knew that you wouldn't be pulled into a conflict and that you wouldn't be part of some gossip, would you want to be more friendly with them?
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing. Like I feel as though I get too friendly too quickly
Uh-huh.
because it's just like I think it's just better for working that people are comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
But then I don't know when or where it can go too far because we don't know how people can react to certain situations.
Yeah.
And that's my problem. I don't want to like,
It's like it feels like either all or nothing. Right.
yes.
Yeah.
And because the thing is also, these are some nice people. And I can really see like nothing can go wrong, but I'm still like, well, I thought that before and it could go wrong. And I
Yeah.
don't want to, you know.
So you can listen, you can take the approach you're taking, which is like, I'm just going to keep things professional. I'm not going to get too friendly and personal with people at work. You could certainly do that. That's a safe way to go. If you do notice that you are wanting to be more friendly with people and you think it would be helpful to be friendly with people because you work with them, that route would require you to be really, really clear on what your boundaries are and where are some lines in the sand for you. And you could even do as much as like write this down, like where, like you could say, you could write a couple of like commitments to yourself and say, I am going to commit to never contributing to gossip. If I hear gossip, maybe just smile or nod or something, but don't contribute to it. I mean, so you can make a list of the things that like the lines in the sand, that the things that you want to create as boundaries so that you can be friendly, but you also have boundaries so that there are some clear lines instead of just it's all or nothing.
Okay.
It's a little bit riskier. It's a little bit less unsafe. But if you go in with intention, with a deliberate boundary, then maybe it will turn out differently. Maybe you can be friends and have boundaries with these
I
folks.
I actually think that's a great idea because a lot of the times I am not really thinking. I am just like going off the cuff.
Yeah.
And so having a reminder like, whoa, this may turn into an actual friendship that requires some intimacy that
Yeah.
work the workplace cannot be involved in. So, and that's actually something I had like a question, a follow-up question about like for you yourself, is there any potential signs of like a disagreement or if any outside behavior is affecting work performance that suddenly makes you think maybe I should go to a manager or supervisor or somebody to just kind of like manage the tension and get us back to like performing at our best?
If you are friendly with someone, you have a good relationship with them, and you have some sort of conflict happening, maybe because of some personal boundaries being opened up, it's always best to talk to that person first, see if you can work it out with them. And if not, and it's affecting your work, it's affecting things at the office, then, I would ask them if they'd be open to having a conversation with the manager, like the three of you or something like that. And if they're not, then maybe going to the manager directly and getting some advice, getting some coaching from your supervisor or manager about how to handle it. But I always say, like, the default is go directly to the person and try to have a conversation one-on-one first.
Okay.
I know that can be difficult, but certainly this can happen where you notice like you start developing a personal relationship. You start feeling like maybe there's some boundaries being crossed. Maybe you're getting a little bit too friendly or too intimate for being coworkers at the same time. And you have to pull it back a little bit. You have to dial it back. So I've seen this. I've experienced this. It's a very natural state to want to be friends with people you work with. It's also natural to feel like you're getting a little too friendly with people you work with. So it's just this fine balance that you kind of dance with. And I'm always a fan of doing something that feels more vibrant, more energetic.
Yeah.
It feels like vibrant. It feels like life to go be friends with someone. And I'm also a fan of making sure we keep boundaries with all of our personal relationships, not just relationships with people who we work with, but family relationships, everybody. We need boundaries, different types of boundaries with. So I'm a fan of that route and trying to navigate the boundaries and being friendly to an extent and knowing where your lines are and walking them back if you have to and setting different types of expectations. I'm a fan of that more than I'm a fan of just of like kind of avoiding it all, even though it'd be nice to be friendly with them.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm just wondering like, okay, when is it appropriate to step in and be like, hey, where we're crossing some lines, let's how do you feeling? Like kind of like
Yes.
get in touch with them. And it's not even just them, like someone else. Like whenever I see two people arguing, even though I have nothing to do with it, it's just like, no, don't bring it down. I don't want the atmosphere to go into like high tension. So
Yeah.
would it still be all right to be like, hey, what's going on? Are you? And then that's when I start thinking, well, that's how I ended up in that other situation because I asked someone, how you doing? Like, you want to talk outside?
Yeah.
And then people thought I was like creating alliances.
So you can be empathetic with people you work with your friends. You be empathetic. Hey, I'm here to listen if you want to talk. Just don't add, like, if you notice yourself kind of commiserating with someone, and you start adding to the problem, like, oh yeah, I see that too. I see them do that too. Maybe that's one of the lines in the sand the boundaries that you write down for yourself. Like, don't go to that. Don't be the one who agrees with the story you're hearing, but you can be there to listen and to empathize and, hey, I'm sorry you're experiencing that. And I hope it gets better for you. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. But if they want you to add in, well, don't you see it too? Don't you think that too? You can say, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to add to that.
Okay.
I care about you. I respect you. I want to be I want to be here for you, but I just don't want to be a part of, office conflict and stuff like that. So, yeah. So there is some boundary that you can work with in there.
Okay. Thank you so much, actually.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's helpful. I know it's not a definitive answer, but it's, at least you have a direction, and hopefully the one action item I would say is, can you write down your list of boundaries? Try to get really intentional and clear about that as you start to build personal relationships with people at work.
That's actually like the best part of it because every environment is different. I have to remember that. So I can't have like a definitive or absolute yes or no. So I do actually appreciate writing down boundaries, remembering them, so that at least if there is any flexibility, if I can still ask myself, is it still within these questions that I'm keeping to myself?
Exactly.
So am I keeping my own integrity? Am I getting overindulgent am I being distracted from my work by focusing more on personal issues? Let's take a step back and reevaluate. So I really do appreciate your answer.
So important. Yeah. Write it down, be really intentional about it. That's great. I love it.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on, Maria. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Peace Building with Dr. Pollack show. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more workplace conflict advice. Share on social media if you think your friends and colleagues would benefit from this episode. And if you have a workplace conflict and want to be a caller on our show, for free coaching and advice, please email podcast@pollackpeacebuilding.com. Thanks.